Hello, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about making what I call my hip tool pouch. Uh, what is it? What is it made out of? Stuff like that. In the previous video, I showed you a little bit about it, and it's something that I wear on my hip when I'm at work, and it carries a bunch of tools that helps keep me from getting up from underneath the truck. Now, what all is it made out of? Well, let me show you a few things. Some old worn out jeans that have been severely patched. But usually on the back sides of the legs, it's usually knees and things like that that wear out. But on the back sides, there's usually still some pretty good material. So I take and cut up an old pair of jeans that I've replaced. They're junk. Get some old styrofoam. And as you can see, this one's already been cut out. And then you have to have cutting tools and other things to size it. And then a simple little ice cream container. This here, I have determined is actually, believe it or not, the correct size. And is this really what I've worn on my hip all this time? Believe it or not, yeah, these used to look the same. This one you can tell it's been worn and it's been seriously abused. Of course, I've literally had my whole weight on this thing multiple times, and that's within the shell made from old pants, some clips, some strapping, some elastic, and a bunch of sewing. And yes, I do my own sewing. That is part of the reason I bought this little thing many, many years ago. Yes, I have used it a lot. And now, does my wife use it? I don't really know. I've never seen her use it. She does have access to it. If she wanted to use it, it's there more happy to let her use it. She has full access to it. But I'm the one that usually uses it, and I've used this thing quite a bit over the years. Very good machine. Nietzsche. I don't have a clue who or where sees it. This is the Royal Series. It's got a lot of different options and things. Real handy little machine. So, other than ice cream container, old pants, foam, some strapping, some buckles, some elastic, cutting utensils, maybe a nice little seam ripper. What else might you need? Anything to make a hole in the styrofoam. You can do that with a small rotary tool. And believe it or not, something I have found that works real well is simply a soldering iron, wood burner, anything like that that heats up. Does great for getting in there and making openings of whatever size, shape, style that you want. Now, I'm not going to go into the complete build. I'm just going to show you a little bit about what I've done and how I do it. First thing is, get rid of the lid. You're not going to need that. Second thing is this little lip around here. Take, cut, and grind it off, sand it, whatever you need to. Get rid of that thing. You don't want it. So, what should it look like when you get done with that? Well, just so happens I now have my brand new one that I have made, and lo and behold, Blue Bunny, just like what I was showing you, the foam, and as you can see, I have made a whole bunch of little openings. My little pouch with the strapping. And if you can see here, this is where I've sewn for the belt loops. Now, interesting note, used to, when I made these, my first ones, what I would use was literally the old belt loops from the old jeans. However, I have found that they tend to rip out and come apart. They don't hold as well as they should. Hence the reason for using this strapping. This is a good tight material, a good tough material, and it holds up well, especially with this kind of sewing where you've got that nice wide back and forth zigzag stitch. Now, as you can see, I've brought it all the way down and around. I've sewn it to the bottom, and I have another piece going from edge to edge, which hopefully will keep this from getting cockeyed, which is what was happening with my old one. Now this, literally, once you get everything situated, all you need to do is put this down inside here, and it takes a little bit to get it situated, but once you do, it should look something kind of like that right there. Bring this up and over, bring these around, snap it into place. Now this one is very loose because I don't have the tools in it. It's also very, very light. You'll notice I have some elastic here on each end. This just kind of helps hold things together and keeps the tools from getting spilled out of it while I'm under a truck working or up on a ladder, under the dash, whatever it is that I'm doing. So, all that being said, now this one I have actually put sliders on so I can adjust the length of these and help tighten or loosen as I need to. Now, neat thing about these, right in here, if this was just way too long, all I would have to do is rip this seam out, move this down through this keeper, and then re-sew this somewhere else to tighten it up if needed. If I need to loosen it, all I got to do is this right here, and then pull this on down, and it's obviously loosened it quite a bit, as you can see right there. And I've still got some more room there. If I need, I can easily readjust it. Get that closer to where it was. Hopefully that will work good. But now I messed up on making this. And again, like I said, I'm not going to show you all the ins and outs. If you can't sew, don't even attempt this unless you have somebody that can sew and is willing to sew something like this for you. Because what I've done here is I've sewn this inside out and then basically moved the pouch inside out and got it to where the seams are hidden. But when I made this, I made it for this height, not thinking about how tall the flashlight would be in here and how much it would hold this up. So, that being said, I had to come up with some way of either remaking this or adding some flap on here to where I would help keep the tools covered and not be falling out because they're sticking up so high. So what I did is I basically made a little pouch and sewed it to the end of this flap, thereby increasing my overflap. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's put some tools in this thing, okay? I've got my tools that I have carried in several of these pouches, not all of them from the first pouch to this one, but a lot of them have been there from almost day one. So my little Gerber goes right in here. My Stanley multi-shears I'm going to put right in here. My little no-name multi-tool will go right here. And you may notice these are going in pretty snug. They will loosen up over time. My pliers, make sure that I adjust them like so. They go in right like so. Then, little flashlight, my scissors, next flashlight, my nice little slide flashlight, my UV light, my little UV light, my little tape measure, slides right in there. Then, see if I can remember exactly how I was going to do all this. I believe this went right in here. Okay, these, yeah, over here. Then these went in here. Then I have my picks. And like I said, I use these quite a bit at work. So now, there's my nice little tool pouch. This comes up and over like so. And as you can see, if I hadn't added this extra flap here, that much would be sitting out in the open. Not a good thing. So you get more flap. And all you have to do is do up your buckles. Nice tight little pouch. And you can always adjust these a little bit if needed. And I may adjust them here in a bit because they do look a little bit extra tight. But the elastic is helping hold this in closed on each side. And that helps keep tools from sliding out the sides. So, with a little bit of measuring and cutting and some grinding, maybe some sanding, whatever. Old pair of pants, strapping, buckles, sliders, uh, old ice cream container, and some foam. You too can make something like this that you can put on your belt, carry it on your hip, and keep whatever you deem necessary for your job or whatever you happen to be doing. Maybe you've got a hobby where you need to keep a few things with you. Could you modify this and maybe put camera equipment there? Absolutely. One thing I did with this one that is different than the other ones I have done is on this added on piece. Once in a blue moon, you may need a little something to kind of hold something. Well, I added this. It's a little zipper to the pouch for the flap because I always double everything here. It's actually 2 layers. I take 2 layers of pants to make this pouch. So I got to thinking about it and I thought, well, I've got this old zipper. Why not give it a try? I've never put a zipper into something like this. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a try. I used to get these at Walmart. Unfortunately, Walmart no longer carries these, but they've got these here also in them. And like I said, I've never used them. So, hey, let's go ahead and put one on this pull. Now, nice and easy little zipper pull, easy to get to. And by the way, this pouch, it's actually big enough to put my phone with its OtterBox case inside this thing if I needed to. I would need to loosen the straps, which, as you can see from the little buckle and all, the tensioner and the buckle, I've got quite a bit of room there, so I could definitely open up this thing and get quite a bit of stuff in this little flap pouch if I wanted to, or if I ever need to. But anyway, I'm hoping this gives you some ideas. And like I said, these are the tools I deem necessary. If you make one, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see pictures. Um, Maybe you've got a little digital camera with some changeable lenses. You could probably put 2 or 3 lenses in something like this. That way that's right there on your hip, ready for you to swap out if you need to. Always a possibility. Or maybe you've got a small digital camera that you want to keep with you. Maybe some other odds and ends, maybe a flashlight, what have you. Well, you could make one of these, modify it to hold something like that, and it'd be right there on your hip, whichever side that you deem most useful for you. If you do make one, please send me a picture, let me see it. I'd love to see other people make something like this, whether they use it a lot or just rarely on occasion, maybe when you're doing stuff around the house, maybe at your job, whatever. I usually use these when I'm at work. The design has changed drastically over the years. I started out, literally, I would make small pouches out of the jeans for each individual piece, sew them together, and then fit them into just a case, no ice cream container, but it was real loose, wore out real quick. I was lucky to get a year out of that. That's when I started looking around for some kind of hard plastic material to put in there. First ones I had to cut down to make fit because all the cases I could find were way too big. Those worked pretty well, but where I had cut and spliced them together, they started breaking loose, coming apart, and then the jeans would fail because the inner casing was failed. But with the ice cream container, like said, yes, it's starting to fail, but this has been in service since January 2009. I think I've got my money's worth out of this. Considering most people just throw them away, yeah, I think I've done pretty well with this. Hopefully this one will last at least as long, maybe longer. And again, somebody that's not as rough as I am on them, because I'm on a creeper a lot. A lot of times they'll get snagged when I'm trying to go in between the duals to get under a truck, stuff like that. But anyway, this is my little hip tool pouch. Hope you like this. Hope it gives you some ideas. And I hope you'll like this video. And until next time, stay safe. And again, if you make one of these, please send me a picture right here on YouTube, or I'll probably post this also on Facebook. So give me a like, send me your version of this and what you carry in it. So stay safe till next time. We'll see you later. Bye.